Hi guys, let's take a quick peek at future value calculation. My objective here is to demonstrate two simple processes that you might use to calculate this and really understand the steps that are required to calculate it. So while there are many ways you might be able to pull a calculator from online and use the calculator, that's good. There are no single accurate way. I'm going to show you two simple steps. One, using Excel. That's a good skill to develop, and how to use a calculator. And either way, your choice. Just understand the step, build a skill so you may see how this works. There's a multi-layered process I want to show you, and this is an important skill. All right, so suppose you invest $25,000 in an account paying 6% compound annually. What will be the balance after 7 years? So that's a pretty simple future value. What's the future value of putting $25,000 in an account that's paying 6% and it compounds annually? What you need to pay attention to is the principal, right? So we've got principal amount of $25,000. That's obvious right here. It's paying 6%, so this is the rate, and it compounds annually, and you're working with a total number of 7 years. The first step that I want to show you is the way you could use a calculator, and the process is pretty simple. So you have your principal, which will be 25,000. Bear with me. All right, times, and the rate is 6%. So 1 plus 6%, we write in terms of percent, we would write 0.06, right? And the number of periods we're working with is 7 years, so exponent 7. So this in reality becomes 25,000, and I'm sure you can remember this process, times again 1.06 raised to the 7th, and that would equal to, let me do this calculation and see what I would get. 25,000 times 1.06 raised to the 7, and we get 37,590. .76. So a principal amount of $25,000 in an account for 6 years compounding annually after 7 years would be worth 37,590.76. Now let's use the Excel, and if you're familiar with Excel, great. If not, follow along here. You simply select the cell, you press equal. To the left, there are these. Here you'll find many of the functions that you want: NPV, IRR, depreciation. Everything is listed over here. We're using future value, so we click on the future value. What's important to remember in Excel is because we said 6%, again, you're going 6% is written as 0.06. So where it says rate, it's 0.06. The number of periods would be the 7 years, right? So we put 7, and you're making no payments. If you were saying you're going to add money periodically to this account, every year you would add money, that would be the payments. You would put that here. The present value, the amount you're putting in is $25,000. Here's a kind of key note. If you placed a positive number here, you would get a negative result, but the number would be the same. But the present value in this case, I'm going to put the 25,000, and we simply select OK, and here we get 37,590. All right. So using Excel, you can go back over this video. Using Excel is a pretty robust way of learning this. So between a simple calculator and Excel, you should be able to calculate the present value of a number. Now, let's complete a second problem. I also want to show you something else. What's important is the number of periods that the money is being paid into this account. The interest is being paid. So you notice it says 6% annually. But if we said instead of annually, this would be paid quarterly, right? Instead of compounding annually, we said paid quarterly. It would mean there are 4 quarters per year. So it would mean that this money actually, instead of simply being 1.06, we would have to divide the 6 by 4, and which means if it was paid quarterly, if the interest was paid quarterly, we would have 4 payments within each year. And so we would say the 6% divided by 4 gives us 1.5%. Interest is 1.5%, paid quarterly, and there are 4 quarters in the year. So the number of period would be 28, all right? So instead of 7 years, it would be 28. 2 7s 14. All right, so it would be 28 periods or payment periods. Now, when we calculate this, it would then become 25,000 Bear with me, guys, as I work with a mouse. I should be using my pencil, but I'm actually using a mouse. So 25 times, it would be, since it's 1.5%, that would become 1.015 times 28 instead of the 7. And let's see what we get with that. You could do the calculation. 25, 1, 2, 3 times 1.015 raised to 28. That becomes 37,930. So we get 37 0.55. So interest earned annually in this particular scenario would be 37,590.76. If it's paid quarterly, it would be 37,930.56. Pay attention to whether it says annually, quarterly, or monthly. If it was paid monthly, you would divide 6% by 12 to figure out the rate of return, and then you would have to multiply the number of years by 12 to get the number of period. Now, when you couple that with that rule of 72. Remember the rule of 72 that you guys work. This is the interesting fact that I want you to take away from this exercise. Because this says compound, or the interest is earned annually or quarterly, you think that if you invest the money over a number of years, this is the return. However, if you were trading, right, and you made this number of trade in a single day, in a single week, a single month, or over some period, if you traded this bought and sold an investment of this with this rate of return 7 times, and you earned and reinvest that money, you would make the same amount. So again, if you had $25,000 and you were able to find an investment paying 6% in a single day, and you bought and sold this investment 7 times, you still would achieve this result. More to come on that. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. Practice these 2 formulas using Excel and using a simple calculator. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy learning.